So, good morning, my constituents of the YouTube community. This is Jason Zombie Collector. And I just wanted to say, what would it take? What would it take for you to walk away from baseball? You know, I've been struggling with this idea, this concept, this maybe abstract thought for a while now. You know, we have now seen a scorched earth of problems with the Houston Astros and the Boston Red Sox, and supposedly they're saying multiple teams are involved in the cheating and have been for years. Not only that the Major League Baseball knew about it, has known about it, but didn't want to do anything about it until, you shined a light on it. It's like cockroaches. They're there, and you might not ever see it until you put a bright flashlight on it, and then they scatter, and then you got to acknowledge, yes, there's a problem. And then the firings began, and the people stepping down, and then the, monies, the fines being sent, and then they're saying they're not going to discipline the players, and they're going to issue apologies, and they're not going to take away titles, and the titles are fine, and, though they know they were cheating, the titles are not going to be taken away from the cheaters. And, for me, it kind of makes me lose faith in the game. Then you hear about Mike Trout, and apparently there's like some caveat with him with having performance-enhancing drugs. He had this ability to have that, supposedly HGH. And, of course, baseball is a lying piece of crap. They knew that the PEDs and the HGHs and the steroids were going on during the steroid era, but apparently that, like everybody said, Bud Selig and everybody was looking the other way because they could, until they had to look at it, and then they punished people. But they were letting it go. But until the government got involved, they were just letting it go because guess what? It made them money. And then they acknowledged the fact that they knew the cheating was going on with the sign stealing. For at least a decade, it sounded like. They said they knew it going back to like the 2007, 8, 9, whatever, until just now. That there's apparently, it's acceptable to cheat this way from the Latin American countries. They said that certain Latin American players brought this type of cheating into baseball, where you would use all kinds of means to cheat. Alex Cora is, from this era or mindset where whatever it takes to get the edge, you're willing to do, which, that guy's a piece of garbage, scumbag, since he sat on his mighty throne saying how, him and everything is so much better, and wouldn't want to, soil himself going to the White House, and then find out this guy is a piece of garbage, scumbag, cheater, hypocrite. It's just laughable now at this point. But this was a type of cheating that had been understood that could go on in the Latin American leagues and players that brought into Major League Baseball, and then it morphed into sign stealing using technology and all these other, just scumbag ways of trying to, beat the other team, not a straight up way. And then, like I said, the Major League Baseball let it go on until they couldn't let it go on anymore. The lid was blown off by a couple players or two. And then everybody got on it and was like, yeah, this has been going on. This is cheating. They've known about it. All this. So, of course, Major League Baseball is going to lie about Mike Trout. He's the golden boy. He's the golden goose. He is the great white hype. He's not, they don't want to say, oh, look at that we were actually lying about him too, and we made, concessions for him. I have always suspected something was up with him, but I never could put my finger on it. But if you look at him and look at the way he looks, I mean, let's just be honest. There's some telltale signs. I'm not saying he looks like Mark McGwire or Barry Bonds, and I'm not saying he looks like he's, the Incredible Hulk per se. But there's just something there that just, there's like a smell test that he doesn't pass. And if people going, well, Major League Baseball said that wasn't going on, then you're a moron. You're literally simple jack to believe that Major League Baseball has a track record of being honest and straightforward. Then you gotta be laughing. I'm laughing at you right now, because then you're gonna say, oh, because you don't want anything to happen to Mike Trout. You don't want it to be true because you don't want your precious baseball cards that you spend $1 bajillion on to become like worthless. But you want to make it okay if it involves, they should let, Major League Baseball made a mistake and blah, 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 and they should let these other cheaters into the Hall of Fame, and they were liars, and they were making exceptions to the rule because it benefited baseball. That was okay to make those exceptions because, it was about those guys. But now they're the pillar of truth. They were lying scumbags when it was Barry Bonds and McGwire and Roger Clemens, but now they're so honest and trustworthy. I mean, you've got to be kidding me, right? You're like, yeah, they were lying about the sign stealing. It's been going on for a while now. But now all of a sudden they're telling the truth about Mike Trout. Like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Like, literally, don't be an idiot. So, nothing that Major League Baseball or Robert Manfred or they're going to say makes me have any faith in anybody or anything. They're going to do whatever they can to protect their golden boy, their golden ticket, the golden goose. And they're never going to admit to it unless they absolutely have to, unless they're literally caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They're not going to admit to it. It's very suspicious, people. And I say all this to say, what does it take, what will it take, if it will take anything at all, for you to #walk away? I've been struggling with this. I mean, I have my Cincinnati Reds, and they have done something amazing the past couple years, which is try to be contenders. They started last year with making some big moves, and they're paying off. They had a better season. I think they went up 10 games from the previous. They didn't have the desired outcome, but then this year they got Moose, Akiyama, Miley, Castellanos, and a few smaller pieces. They didn't really lose anybody that they weren't willing to lose. And I'm excited about Cincinnati. And I'm not saying they're going to win the World Series necessarily. That'd be awesome. We'll see how that shakes out. But I'm excited. But it's like there's like an Eeyore little gray cloud hanging over the entire, my passion for the game. And I'm like, is this mine? Was it 1992 with the Major League Baseball strike? I mean, I kind of feel like this is my 1992, if that's the right year. I can't remember if that's the year or not. 93, 94. Maybe it's 94 now that I think about it. Sorry. Maybe this is my 1994. It very well possibly could be. I don't know. We're still supposedly waiting to hear about how extensive the cheating was with the Boston that we still haven't heard. And now there's like so many different players that are associated with the cheating. Like players that I really love and respect, like Altuve. I've even heard Christian Yelich was involved in the cheating. Those are two guys that I collect and I had a lot of respect for. And I'm kind of worried now that they screwed the pooch. So, I mean, if it all comes out, man, it all comes out in the wash. It may be I might be done, and I really won't have any sports to watch. I don't really watch pro football ever unless there's nothing else on, because of their total disrespect for America and American flag and the military, and then the NFL not having the balls to nip it in the bud. Now it's like water under the bridge in some ways. Then we got NBA, who rather have Hong Kong protesters be murdered in the streets and imprisoned and beat and trampled for democracy's sake, but for them to stick their heads in the sand because they don't want to upset China. And they got their like talking heads and their basketball players and everybody else get out there and be like, we love China. China's great. China's done nothing wrong. They're our best friend, because they don't want to lose what? Money. They rather people's right to freedom to be trampled upon than to do the right thing and to say what's wrong is wrong. So I don't really have any interest in the NBA for multitudes of reasons of there. And now Major League Baseball, which has always haunted them with scandals of cheating and of backdoor quiet sessions of, just complete ridiculousness, is coming to the forefront that not only is the cheating going on, they're not actually going to punish the real cheaters. And that has might been going on for years and years and years, and nothing being done until they had to do something about it. If the players are not going to get punished, we have a problem, Houston.